the show, and a good friend, Mr. David Tarver. Hi,
Morning.
David.
Good morning. How you doing, Brenda?
Fine, fine, fine. I forgot your book, like I told you. I have that book out. My son has that book. Great book, Proving Ground.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. And David is let's show your T-shirt.
Let's see here.
A kid from Flint. He's a kid from Flint, but he's not a kid anymore.
I feel like a kid.
I know. But David, you're doing something that's very important. And is this your third one?
This is third year, yes.
Okay. Tell the audience what it is.
So we are doing the Urban Entrepreneurship Symposium for the third year this year. The first year it was in Ann Arbor. Last year we did it in Detroit at the Center for Creative
Such
Studies.
a big turnout, too.
Oh, it was great. And you were a big contributor there.
Thank
Hope
you.
to get you involved again this year. And we're doing it in Flint this year, my hometown.
Right.
And basically what we do with this symposium, the organization is the Urban Entrepreneurship Initiative, and we try to encourage and facilitate business innovation, entrepreneurship, that solves problems for people who live in urban communities. And so the symposium is our way of highlighting the issue, connecting people who are involved in this pursuit, entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs and their allies.
And people, what I noticed last year from some of the people I talked about, people who were changing careers.
Definitely, yeah.
Right.
A lot of people, and in Flint, you have a lot of people who have already taken a step out of General Motors, by necessity, either retirement or change in their job circumstances, and they've moved into their own businesses and doing things to help the community as well.
Well, Flint has taken a big hit.
Definitely.
And yet it's on the national and international scope of things, too.
Right.
And so it gets a lot of attention. So is that why you decided to have it in Flint, or tell us why?
Well, again, Flint is my hometown, and I've been involved there for a number of years since moving back here.
Yes, you have.
And, looking at the situation there, even before the water crisis, things were tough in Flint. And that's one of the reasons why the water crisis occurred, because there was this effort to save money because Flint was in such dire financial straits. So I felt like with the attention being paid to Flint, the spotlight being on Flint, it was a good time to go there with this symposium and to try to support people there who are trying to transform and revitalize the community, but also for us to learn what are really the kinds of things that are going on. What are people thinking? What do people want to do in Flint to revitalize that community themselves?
Right. What are you feeling? What are you feeling from the people? Because you've been kind of in the public the last few days in Flint, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I really feel a few things. One of the things is that, we were in the MTA terminal downtown in Flint.
Now, what is that?
It's the bus terminal downtown, and basically it's people taking the bus to different parts of Flint and down to Great Lakes Crossing, and that terminal is kind of the hub of activity. So we have this activity we're doing this year for the first time in association with the symposium, which we call Give Us What You Got. And basically what we're doing is we're going out and collecting short videos from people, and we ask them to give us a business idea that they have, or a community improvement suggestion, or just to describe a problem. And I kind of expected going into this that we were going to hear a lot of problems from people, gripes.
Yeah.
We didn't. We heard people saying, "This is my idea." One young man said, "I just finished electrical engineering, electrical education at Baker University, and I want to start a center where I can help teach kids coding and electronics and so forth. I want to establish a center in the neighborhood where I can do this."
That's a great
and people
idea.
had all kinds of ideas and things that they wanted to do. So it wasn't a negative thing. It was here's what I want to do. And I think that one of the things that community leaders have to do, we have to do as leaders, is to look to empower these people rather than to look at them as some sort of victims. They want to be empowered.
Right. And when you were talking about that, I started thinking necessity is the power of the
Mother of invention.
Invention. And right now, a lot of the people in Flint have found themselves in situations that, God, I'm out here helpless. I got to wait for the government to do this for me and that, fix my pipes and all of that. And then a lot of people have roots in the community and don't want to move.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so that whole situation with the water is just tragic, and the situation with the pipes, these lead service lines, have almost none of them have been replaced, a very small number so far, and that's a tremendous opportunity on the flip side to involve people. Flint has a very high unemployment rate. Involve some of these people in town in the infrastructure change that needs to occur there. So there's another couple of things that we're doing in connection with Flint that we've never done before with the symposium. We have 2 business model challenges that we established this year. One we call the Urban Infrastructure Challenge.
What does that?
So we're challenging entrepreneurs out there to come up. Excuse me, I don't know what it is. I don't have an allergy or anything this morning.
All right.
But we have we challenge entrepreneurs to come up with a business model that addresses some aspect of the infrastructure in Flint or a town like Flint. Could be water, transportation, communications. And we closed that challenge last Tuesday. We got the submissions in, and we're having the finals of that at the symposium.
Really?
We have another challenge, which is we call the Urban Jobs Challenge, and that one challenges entrepreneurs to construct a business model that will lead to a significant number of jobs in a place like Flint. And I've never seen anybody put forth a challenge in either of these areas before, so we were really anxious to see what kind of participation and what kind of submissions we got from people. But the finals of both of those challenges are going to take place during the symposium this year.
Oh, that's amazing. Because a lot of times you have the man on the street who has a great idea.
Definitely, definitely.
So the fact that they could be heard, or at least the idea can be seen, is very, very important. What other things are you doing during the initiative this year?
Well,
the topic is urban revival, which I thought was a great topic.
We were thinking that whole theme of revival, like a revival meeting, but around the issue of entrepreneurship.
Renaissance.
Definitely. But as you mentioned, there are people out there who have ideas, and as you saw when you came to the symposium last year, one thing that's different about this event from other kinds of entrepreneurship events is that you don't see the usual suspects in the room. You see the usual suspects, but you see a lot of other people as well.
You see so many other people. And one thing about it, I noticed when you asked the question, what would you do to make a city like Detroit, like it was last year, better? What ideas do you have?
Definitely.
And you're using Flint this year, which is so great.
Yes, Flint is a good case in point, but I think that we're not going to be successful in Detroit or Flint or any of these cities with economic revitalization unless it's inclusive. So we want to practice inclusive entrepreneurship, and we want to get everybody's ideas on the table, and we want to empower people wherever they are in that process to move along and get their ideas on the table and get businesses started.
Some people with ideas may coincide with that other person who might have an idea that can make this idea whole.
We like to say that to solve a lot of these problems requires awareness, and it requires capability, and it requires motivation. And those 3 things don't always exist in the same person or the same community, so you got to make those connections in order to hit the sweet spot.
Absolutely. So now this is 19th through 21st. What's happening each day? It starts on a Wednesday?
Wednesday night, So this is the first time we're doing this over more than one day. It's a 3-day event this year. So on Wednesday night, because we're trying to emphasize this issue of inclusive entrepreneurship, the first night we call our community program, and it's 6 to 9 p.m., We have everybody from the mayor on down in Flint coming to this event.
Really?
And we want to talk about the importance of entrepreneurship, the importance of taking ownership in the community, and how people can do that. So that's what we're going to do on Wednesday night.
She's a pretty good woman, isn't she?
Well, she's been tireless, and she really, when the chips were down and when something needed to be done, she called out this issue and said, this is an emergency, right? She didn't allow it to be swept under the rug, so I give her a lot of credit for that. So we have that Wednesday night issue, and then on Thursday we have what we call the conference program, which is a lot like what we did last year.
Right.
But
What time is that from?
so that's going to be like 9 to 6.
Where?
So the first night is at Mott Community College, the Event Center. The second day, the conference is at the North Bank Center, University of Michigan Flint, downtown. And so that day, we're going to have a lot of really interesting things. We have a fellow who wrote a book called Demolition Means Progress. And I would love for you, we got to hook up you talking to this guy, interviewing this guy. But basically, it is a treatment of the issue of what happened in Flint and other cities, economic rise and fall, and the urban renewal.
I heard of him because somebody either
he was on WDT a few months ago. Yeah, Andrew Highsmith is his name. So he's coming. He's at UC Irvine now in California, but he's coming. And he's going to speak the morning of the 20th, that Thursday morning. We also have a collection of people who are going to come who are experts in building an entrepreneurship ecosystem. So we have Ned Stabler from TechTown. We've got Leslie Smith, who used to be at TechTown. Now she's in Memphis at something called Epicenter. We've got Mike Finney from MEDC. Who is involved in this revitalization effort in Flint. We've got a fellow from one of the venture capital firms up in Flint. But basically, we're putting this group of people together to talk about how do you go about building an effective entrepreneurship ecosystem in a place like Flint. And, you know, before I forget, I got to mention that we have some great partners in all of these things because University of Michigan, again, Center for Entrepreneurship, they are managing this urban infrastructure challenge for us. And University of Michigan Flint School of Management is managing the Urban Jobs Challenge for us. And Mott Community College is a really great sponsor.
Did you speak to the Urban Jobs Challenge?
Yes, that's the one where we're looking for business models that will lead to a significant number of jobs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that is that Thursday.
That's Thursday, yes. Now on Friday, if you recall last year, we had a lot of conference stuff going on in the morning. In the afternoon, we had seminars.
Yes.
And we had concurrent seminars going in different subjects. Yeah. And people complained about that. They're like, I wanted to go to both of these things.
Right.
So on Friday, we're going back to Mott over to the Regional Technology Center, which is a beautiful facility, beautiful lecture hall there, and a maker space that's called the Fab Lab right there in the building. But we're going to have all of the seminars there, and they're sequential, right?
Oh, that's great.
Just on Friday. So we're going to have a seminar I'm going to teach a seminar on how do you go about starting an urban-focused business. What does that mean? And
what does that mean?
It means a business that's focused on solving urban needs. But how do you identify what you do in that area, right? What's needed? And then how do you go about building that?
Okay. You don't, Highland Park or Detroit. What would you, an idea that would meet that?
Well, it depends. You know, you have to go out and talk to people.
Yes.
You have to immerse yourself in the community to understand what's needed. And I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, and I did this myself when I started out in entrepreneurship, you feel like you know what people need. You know what you're going to do, right? It might be something you like to do. And you go out and you fail because it's not it's not an important need that people have. So one of the biggest things that we try to teach people now in entrepreneurship education is how to go out and do what we call customer discovery, or in this case, community discovery. So that you know what the issues are and what is needed. And then once you determine some significant, important problem that needs to be solved, then it becomes a design process. How do I formulate and design a solution to this problem that is in the form of a business model, right? And then how do I go out and test that business model with people in the community so that I can see, will this really work?
Right.
And you do all that stuff before you start spending a lot of money.
Yeah, you get that information from the community, and after you kind of develop something, it goes back to the community, right?
You prototype your idea, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the urban revival, I like that. I like that idea. I'm very excited about this. It's a registration, right?
Yes.
It's free, right?
Well, the first night is free. The community program is free, but it does require registration online, urbanei.org. The second day, the full day is $25. Now, let me tell you what that includes. That includes the conference program, but that night we have another reception at the Flint Farmers Market, beautiful new facility. We have music, we have food, we have other entertainment. It's called the Matrix, so you can imagine what the theme is going to be like that night.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
So that's $25 for that whole day. And then the seminars program is $25 for the whole day. So
that's not for what you get, everybody. This is just amazing for what you get, and just talking to people.
Yeah.
Just talking to people
too.
Contacts as far as maybe you want to up your level, or maybe you're thinking about changing careers. I met so many people who were older who were looking to change careers or had started being an entrepreneur and wanted to know more. And that's part of the value of this.
Definitely. And it's unusual that you would have this collection of characters in one place. So it's great to take advantage of that. The reason we're able to do the one night free and the other days $25 again is because of our sponsors. If we didn't have those, this could be $1,000 per person.
God, I know.
So I want people to take advantage of this value.
Well, David, this is great. This is fabulous. So once again, urbanei.org.
Yeah, everything is right there. And in fact, you can see the video from last year and the year before at that website, as well as the interviews that you did of some of the luminaries who were there on the website.
I was just amazed. I was amazed at the guy who had the space, the guy from New York.
Oh, yeah. And they're coming to Detroit now. They signed a deal with Gilbert. They'll be in Detroit next year. Yeah.
Really?
So that's one of the things that
I gotta have him back. I would love to interview him for my viewers.
Miguel McKelvey.
Oh, he was wonderful.
That business is valued more than $15 billion now.
Yeah. And I did.
Talk about urban entrepreneurship. When you say urban entrepreneurship, sometimes people think small, poor. No, there's a great opportunity.
Well, David, thank you so much, and I will continue to push this next week. Yeah. Because it's 2 weeks from
2 weeks from
less
yesterday.
than 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Really, it's 2 weeks from Wednesday.
From Wednesday night, yeah.
Right. So thank you so much once again.
Thanks for having me again.
Oh, of course. I miss you on Table Talk.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I want you to. And he's also teaching in Michigan.
Yeah, not this semester. I'm totally focused on this.
I know. And I was so impressed. I got to say this real quick. I was so impressed when you came by. You did the video of the house where you grew up.
Oh, yeah.
I was so impressed. Brought a lump to my throat.
Well, and saw some of the folks from the neighborhood still living there. That was really nice.
I know. That gives you that feeling of home, doesn't it?
Definitely.
They watched you grow up and be a bad boy. No, you are a good boy. You got to read Proving Ground, Amazon.com. We'll be back in just a moment with Sean Whitehead.